Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Discover New Music podcast from Pelt Music. Shortly, we will be chatting with IOTA, whose recent single "Take It" we have featured over on our Discover New Music playlist on Spotify. Before then, just the usual reminders from myself. If you would, please do follow Pelt on social media. We are on Facebook at Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Pelt Music. And again, if you would, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, whatever you are watching or listening. Well, welcome IOTA to the Pelt Music Discover New Music podcast. We're delighted to have you on. How are you on this very hot evening?
Sweaty. Very sweaty.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna, say again, thank you for cramming into such a small space on such a hot night to talk to me. Obviously, really appreciate it. So, we're going to be discussing with you your latest single, "Take It," which has just come out last week as the episode airs. So, before we get to then, the Discover New Music podcast is about music fans getting to discover new music, discover bands that they're perhaps not familiar with. And with that in mind, we always start with the same segment, and it's called the origin story. So what is the origin story of the band? How did you all come together?
Do you want me to do it?
I don't mind.
You guys
yeah,
start.
I mean, you should probably do it first, and then it goes to...
Yeah, Mule and I know each other from college, but we both kind of went our separate ways after college, and then we didn't realize we were both going to the same uni and ended up at the same uni. And we had a mutual friend that we started jamming with, and at first wasn't really anything serious, and it was just kind of getting together for the fun of it, really. And then we started, instead of just jamming every time, we started sort of having songs sort of start to formulate a little bit, and there would be a little bit more structure to everything. And then we kind of started thinking that maybe we should actually try and do something with this and make it into a band. And then I think we found Tom through a friend of ours, and then Jody, despite being at the same uni as us, we found on joinmyband.com. But we went through a lot of singers and a lot of drummers before finding Tom and Jody, because it was something that we knew what we wanted, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you've also got you need to be on the same wavelength as people, in terms of, not just in terms of the music you make, but also with how dedicated you're going to be to it. And there's a lot of people who want to just do it for fun and stuff like that, which is fair enough. But we obviously enjoy what we do, but we do take it seriously as well.
Yeah.
This lineup in 2 years.
In the making.
But we've all been together, bar Joe, 4 years. And these guys obviously had a year prior to that of just kind of messing about. But yeah, no, it's the band properly formed, I guess, when us five really came together, because we would still discovering our sound up until that point. I think it wasn't until Joe joined that we really found what we wanted, and we were in a good place where we had experimented quite a lot, and Joe had come in and it was just the perfect sound for us, and had a few people involved and for the outside as well that influenced us a lot at that point as well. So yeah. 2 years this band.
Yeah, no, it's a really thorough introduction and an origin story. There's a couple of different quite original origin stories mixed together there, with the meeting in school or college or university, plus the advert in a magazine or a website these days. So it's nice to see them mesh, and nice to see that you've obviously got the same vision for the future, and you have stuck with it, as you said, and come out with your latest single, "Take It." So obviously we're really glad that you've stuck with it, because we've really enjoyed the track, and listeners obviously need to check the song out. They can do it on all the normal streaming sites, and of course they can do it on our Discover New Music playlist over on Spotify as well. So we want to talk to you a little bit about the track. So what is the story of "Take It"? How did the song come together? What is the song about? Please do share the story.
The origin of Take It, like how did it start? Does anyone even remember?
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Like, it's quite weird. Like, I for some, like, I don't really remember all the songs that we've written very vividly of like how they started, but like certain ones do stick in your mind a bit. So like the beginning of it, like the instrumental part of it, anyway, it started like, so I came to practice and I was listening to Let Live, a band, like before practice, and I turned around to Joe and was like, "Oh, we need to like do something a bit more like heavier, a bit rockier," because we have like some of the stuff from the last EP we did was a bit rocky, but it was still quite soft compared to where I think we wanted to go anyway at the time.
We were kind of naturally going down that, like the new stuff we've got now is like a lot heavier than our original stuff.
Yeah.
So I think Tom had kind of heard an influence and for an idea, and just had an idea come to him.
And then just turned around and was like, "Oh, we should do like something a bit heavier like this." And I played a version of what is now like the like intro chorus part to Joe, and he was like, "Oh, okay, because if you do that, I can play this," and then like it just sort of evolved from there, really.
Yeah, but the whole like story behind the song is about kind of personifying anxiety as if it is an actual person, and that fight with yourself as if you're in two pieces, because this anxiety is another human that's kind of telling you can't do something and like holding you down, and like just personifying that really. And it's that argument between like yourself when you're not feeling good and like people aren't telling you the right thing, you know. And yeah, it's just kind of humanizing it. And
yeah, and there's certainly something that we can all familiarize with. Something we all experience, which is always a benefit, I feel, in a song to help you connect with a song. And I can certainly get the Let Live influence from the music, along with a few other influences there. So as far as the recording of the track goes, you got to work with a couple of really talented gentlemen, Ben Johnson and from Idol's Lee Kiernan. What was that experience like for you guys?
Yeah, it's good. Lee is actually involved in like everything we do. He takes on a bit of a manager role, but he's nowhere near our manager. He's kind of
taken us under his wing.
Yeah, he's kind of heavily involved and loves to see us making music and like have an opinion on our music, because I think it just reminds him of like his youth and his emo phase. So yeah, he's always like calling us and like coming to our practices. So it was really good that he like spent the time when he was in England to like be in the studio with us at that time. And yeah, we had a really good time with Ben Johnson. We should shout out Tom Hennessy as well, because he like has done so much for us, like mixing wise. He really pulled it all together. But no, it was amazing. It was good. It's like good to have people that want to work on your music with you and like are inspired by us. So
yeah, no, it definitely does really help. And I've had this sort of discussion with quite a few bands that we've interviewed on the podcast, and talked about the lessons learned side of it. When you're working with people with that kind of industry experience and life experience, what kind of lessons you are taking away from that. Is that something that you were conscious of, trying to pick up little tidbits and tips from these characters that you've worked with?
Yeah, I don't think it was like consciously like every session, but like every time we were with them, we definitely did pick up something else and be like, oh, okay, now I'll think about doing this in a part instead of what I would typically do. And then like just like industry stuff as well, like you learn stuff as you're going through it anyway. Like we're a lot more knowledgeable about what to do and what not to do at this point now, as opposed to when we did record all the stuff. And that is definitely to do with the two of those having the influence over.
Yeah, I think when you look back, like you kind of realize how much you've learned rather than like when you're in the moment and you're like learning. It's just like more of a reflection, because these like Dreamer, our first single that we released, and Take It, the one that we talk about today, the one that we're about to release, is they were recorded like quite a while ago compared to like some of we've got more stuff lined up ready to go already. So like yeah, we reflect on those two quite a lot now, and we even wasn't going to release those songs. Like we were like, oh, they're like another phase of ours, but they fit in so nicely now. We look back at like the new stuff we're writing, and it was that natural progression. But yeah, with like COVID and stuff, we even thought like maybe we shouldn't release these because been a while.
Yeah, it's obviously killed a lot of momentum for a lot of bands, COVID and the pandemic. But it's great to see that we're kind of emerging out of the other side of that now. And we'll touch on the live side shortly. But just to put a little bow on the discussion about Take It, we should really as well just touch on the video for the track that you guys have put out. Obviously, I've really enjoyed watching the video. I think it works really well and fits the aesthetic of the song. What was that like for you to record? Are you proud of that piece of work now?
Yeah, it's amazing. We worked with a guy called Kieran Gallup, who he's in a really cool band called Foxtrot as well, which we love, and he does kind of all of our videos, like does all of our gig photography. We just absolutely love working with him. He just makes it happen when we want to do it. It was quite a stressful video shoot actually, because the fire alarm kept going off. We were using so much smoke, and like it was at this cafe, and we thought we had it under control, and it was just not.
But we had like loads of extras in as well. So like we're trying to like fix all the alarms and stuff, where Joe was trying to fix the alarms, and then you've got like about like 15 extras just there, like, so when are we filming there? Like, what's going on? We were just beer.
We didn't end up finishing until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fire alarm, and it was a really residential.
Yeah, it was in the shopping centre, and it set off all the alarms for the rest of the shops in the shopping centre as well. And
that is amazing.
Pretty sketchy video, but we did it.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it definitely sounds a lot of fun, a lot of hard work as well. But obviously, the fruits of the labours are there. Fantastic video to accompany a great song. So with that said, you kind of touched on having more music in the background, and I know that obviously you probably can't reveal too much at this point, but when should listeners be expecting something perhaps a little heftier, a little meatier? Is there an EP coming? Is there an album coming? What are the plans for the next few months for IOTA?
There's a lot of music coming. I think I don't want to, not that anyone really cares about us right now, but I think it's like nice for us to kind of keep it under our arms for a second and just say there is so much music coming and big things gonna happen. So, and
it is very soon as well. Like it's not like we're putting this song out and wait a while. Like you'll have it very, very soon. We've been working like so hard for the last 2 years, just trying to get everything ready to just be like boom, 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 and that's just what we want now, and we're kind of ready for next year. Halfway through this.
Definitely, and obviously in the industry, momentum is so important. As we said, COVID killed it for so many bands. So obviously, having a great track like Take It come out, obviously, I think it is good, to keep hitting the new tracks at a fairly regular interval after that to keep people interested, because there is so much music out there for people to listen to these days that obviously interest can wane. And obviously and when you've put all that hard work into it as well, how does it feel for you, to see the reaction that you get when you put out these new tracks?
Well, Take It's been like something like we've never had this before, like where we've been played on Radio 1 and haven't even released the song yet. Like we've never been played on Radio 1 before, and like it's just kind of crazy. Like we uploaded the tracks because our PR agent told us to, and didn't expect anything until the release, and we've been like played on Introducing, played on Amazing Radio, played on Radio 1, and like it's just like insane. Hopefully, like obviously the momentum still keps going, and we're having interviews with people like you. It's just amazing. It's just
we've got a taste for it.
We've got a little taste for it now. But obviously the response for our like previous EP, like people come to our gigs and like sing our songs back at us on a small scale, and even that's just so like amazing. Like this is just what we literally live for, and if we can even have just a small part of that back to us, then it's just like the best thing ever. So
no, definitely. You must be, I say, really proud to see the reaction, especially Take It is getting. We've touched on the pandemic, and I try not to talk about the pandemic too much now in interviews, although obviously it naturally comes up quite a lot. But I think we all want to move on from it, really, don't we? But I think you've got a relatively interesting story around the pandemic and obviously the recording of these new tracks, because I think you were quite lucky to find a situation where you had your own studio. Is that right?
Yeah, so I started building this studio just before COVID like even existed, and then 2 months in I'd like started building the walls, and it was like COVID hit, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? And me and like a couple of other people and like everybody here like helped so much, like just trying to keep it going the whole time, really. Yeah, it's been like, it's been so hard, but it's like been such a good thing for us. We've like always had somewhere to kind of make music if we want to, and just chill and be together and things like that. But obviously there was a period where we literally couldn't see anyone or do anything for a while. But
Good for us making demos as well. We've been able to demo all
Yeah,
our tracks to a fairly decent standard.
Yeah, we literally like
super useful.
write in a different way now. Like we the other day we actually did write a song in the live room for like the first time in ages, and it was amazing because like you get that euphoric, like I don't know, the feels are all that when you all just like playing something and then it all comes. Yeah, but like a lot of the time now we just record something in and then just work to it and just keep doing that in here, because you can hear everything, you can change things so quickly. Like yeah, it's just like it's changed us massively.
A bit more collaboratively.
Yeah,
because like you're not just focused on playing your part.
Yeah,
you can hear, like what everyone else is doing, you can discuss stuff. So.
Yeah, we actually recorded like some guitars here and like all of the vocals here. It wasn't really built when we were recording drums and stuff, but it was yeah, we've done quite a lot of recording in here recently, like for things we're going to put out, which is obviously exciting. Yeah, it's just nice to have our own time. Like we've been in like boxy cupboard rooms like the whole time we've been a band.
Literally.
Yeah, so like,
you can only just fit a drum kit in there, and then everyone's like around there, like.
Yeah. So yeah, we're grateful we got this.
Yeah, no, definitely, you know, very lucky and kind of privileged to have had that, which is fantastic. And obviously, yeah, moving on from the pandemic, as we all want to do, live music is back, thank God. And you have been able to get out and play some shows. So obviously, you're based in Bristol, and there's obviously an incredible music scene in Bristol. You know, a lot of fantastic bands coming out from the city at the moment. And you've been able to play some, you know, quite a few shows I've noticed since the restrictions and everything have lifted, and you've supported, you know, the likes of Static Dress and others. You know, how has it been after being pent up? You know, what was it? How has it felt? Because I know how it's felt as a punter being there and listening. But you know, how has it felt for you guys to get back out and play shows?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Like the thing we thought, like when we came back for the first show that we did, we were like, is anyone even going to remember us? Like we haven't put anything out in years. Like, is anybody going to show up? And like first show we played, it was like a small venue, but we sold it out. And then we had like people singing all the songs back to us, and we're like, what is this? And then every show we've done has just been like a little bit bigger. Then we supported Stack Dress, which was amazing, like playing to their crowd as well, and them coming up to us after the show and be like, you were amazing, and like it wanted to speak to us. Like, yeah, the reaction so far has just been outstanding, really. Couldn't really ask for much more. I mean, we'd like more. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, it has been good. People aren't afraid to like get stuck in either, which is really obviously good to see. Like the first few, because I always like jump in the crowd and like go up to people and stuff, and I was a bit like nervous in case like people didn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, fuck it. We've got to get back to normal somehow. And people are coming to these shows and they want to see how we perform. So
yeah, everyone's right up for it. I think just like everyone's just keen now to get stuck in as well. Like after not being able to be around people for so long, it's just like they want to be around that. So
yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. That initial awkwardness of the first few shows is definitely gone, and I think people are, you know, savouring something that they've missed for a long while. So obviously, yeah, what have you guys got coming up in the near future for live shows? I noticed you've obviously got Burn It Down Festival lined up, which has got an incredible lineup on it. And down in Torquay will be a fantastic weekend for anyone that can make it down there. How excited are you for that show? And where else can listeners catch you?
Very excited.
Yeah,
like half that lineup are like bands I would go to see anyway. So like getting down there and then just like playing and then like quickly run away to like see them is gonna be sick. Like I can't wait.
Yeah, it's like some of them are literally like our favorite bands. So yeah, it's really exciting to be part of that. Yeah, we've got like a few shows that we're going to announce soon. Hopefully going to do a little UK tour, which we kind of did one just after COVID, which had a really good response. So we're hoping after like these new releases, we'll get a good response again. But obviously, just grateful for any one person that comes.
Halloween headliner last year. I think we're potentially
Yeah.
thinking of that again, which maybe will line up with one of our releases.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of be back on the scene now that we've kind of took a little break really from gigging, just to focus on these releases and focus on getting the recording like as good as it can be. Videos, like we've been putting so much into them, but yeah, we've got a lot of gigs coming up and ready to announce, so kind of just waiting to do that now.
So I'm gonna turn you into salespeople now. So why should anyone listening to the podcast today, why should they come and check you out? What sort of live band are you? What have you got to offer?
We are all about the live show. Like, that's literally what we live for. It's just complete energy the whole way through. Most people are quite shocked after seeing us, just like, I don't know how you have that much energy, and I don't know where I get it from either, or how anyone gets it, where any of us get it from. Salesperson, I don't like that. I don't know, I just think like I have never met like a group of people that want this as much as like these guys do, and like I know that I do, and it's just everything to us. And even if just one person turns up, like we won't perform any differently.
No, we'll still go 100%.
We're gonna come and scream in your face and and jump in the crowd and get just have a good time. Like we just want to enjoy it. We love the music that we make, and
how the songs are meant to be heard.
Yeah, live is us. Like we love recording and we love releasing music and like doing all these videos and things like that, but more than anything else, we've gained a following and fans from people that have seen us like or in somebody like Static Dress, or at festivals we've played before and stuff like that. The response has been really good. So
yeah, like all the other stuff, like releasing the songs, the videos, is all to push the live show. Like we want people to come to the live show to see what it's actually supposed to sound like in the room. So yeah, all of that just supports the live show for us, really. Like our main thing will always be to put on like the best live show we can.
I think you've got to remember as well, like when we couldn't go to any live shows, so like you should just be going to our shows. Every single one of our shows, you should be there.
No, I definitely echo that, and listeners definitely should come down and check you out. And obviously, if you've got shows that are going to be announced soon, the best way for listeners to find out is to follow you on social media. So you guys can be found on Instagram and Facebook at IOTA Official UK. We'll have the appropriate links in the bio for the episode as well for listeners, but they're the handles you need to check out to find the band and everything that's coming up in the future from them. And it sounds like there is quite a lot. So we're very excited about that. There's one last segment of the podcast that always finishes us off, and it follows the live discussion, and it's called Setlist Science. So the question is, how much importance do you place on the structure of a set list, on the curation of a set list, and have you got any rules that you tend to follow?
A lot. It like takes a while. We never want it to be like all out, full in your face, straight from the off. Like we've always kind of felt there has to be like
an ebb and flow.
Yeah, like a journey. Like you want to start off like higher, bring it down a bit, and then end on a high. Typically,
this is actually hilarious because we had a big band argument yesterday about how and Setlists to burn it down.
Sorry to reopen them wounds. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't an argument, it was a
Disagreement.
yeah, no, we think about it a lot. I think it's really important. Even like in between songs, like transitions, we really think about those. Our set list now is kind of a lot easier to put together because everything's kind of at the same level. Like we've kind of stopped playing the first stuff we released as much. Like we still play like My Enemy because that's got quite a good like following. But that is literally the only song we're kind of pushing from our old stuff now. Like we used to have like super lows and then super highs, and I think now it is more of like a steady curve.
Consistent sound as well.
Yeah, and it's more consistent. I think it's just because we've found the sound that we want to push, and you know we're doing that. Don't get me wrong, we love a little slow shoegazy, you know, dreamy feel on a song, but we also love like heavy
balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
I think it's good to like subtly, not too much, but have subtle like rearrangements for live as well. Like we like to do that a little bit, maybe segue some songs into another, or just try and get the set to flow as much as possible so the energy stays up.
Yeah, we do try and change the set list like every show really.
Yeah, you don't want someone
much.
turning up and literally seeing the exact same gig really. I think that's quite important to us.
Yeah.
Keep
Definitely.
things fresh.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm a setlist geek, you know, so I love how much passion you've clearly got on the subject. So
Yeah, what's your recommendation?
yeah, I mean, a lot of the bands that I talk to follow that energy curve. I mean, and yeah, as a listener, you do want to have a few lulls because obviously it's tiring for us sometimes if you, especially if you're in the heat of it in the mosh pits and whatnot. But I imagine it's tiring for you as well. I mean, you must want like a few like slower kind of songs just to get a bit of energy back, you know, sometimes if you go and
when we played the Static Dress gig afterwards, I was like, guys, I didn't have a drink that whole time. We need to change the set list.
I played that whole show wearing a fur coat.
We're drinking afterwards.
Oh yeah, but yeah, as a listener, you do, or at least I do as a setlist geek, you know, notice the bands that do put a bit more effort, not just into that single set list, but if you know you were to follow, you know, their set lists across a number of shows, seeing that they do mix it up, seeing that they play it around, you know, or perhaps, you know, recognize the importance of a certain show and, you know, play something specific at that show, you know, I do love that kind of thing. So yeah, no, absolutely fantastic answer from you guys, and definitely score points from me on that one. So yeah, it's been absolutely amazing chatting with you. So there's a lot of big things coming from the band in the future, new music, shows, festival shows. Obviously, listeners, as I said, you need to follow the band on social media to make sure you're keeping up to date with them. What would be your final message for listeners today, putting you on the spot again?
Go and listen to our song.
See you in the pit.
Yeah, I know.
See you in the
Like,
pit, yeah.
I don't know. Just do you want me to say it? You go.
Yeah, just keep supporting live music, like up and coming bands. I think what you're doing here is really cool. And it's giving exposure to a lot of bands that might not have had exposure otherwise. So keep listening to this, keep finding and supporting sort of up and coming bands. And yeah, nice one.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect ending. And obviously, I wish you all the success in the world, and definitely will be coming along to a show myself. So yeah, thank you again for giving up your time for the podcast.
Oh no, thank you for having us, man.
Yeah,
Look forward to meeting you.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. I really do hope you enjoyed that chat with IOTA. Make sure to check out their single Take It over on our Discover New Music playlist on Spotify. And please do follow the band on their social media channels, and of course follow Full Pelt on ours. We're on Facebook at Full Pelt, and on Twitter and Instagram at Full Pelt Music. And lastly, if you would, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button wherever you are watching or listening. And we will be back soon with another episode of the Discover New Music podcast.